Well, I mean, if you want to talk anti-military, Paul, I mean, I don't know what would be more anti-military than essentially stopping all promotions inside of the military for an unlike thing because you don't like abortion. And the military is not paying for abortions. They're just saying, hey, if you need to travel out of Alabama because it's illegal in Alabama, you can get some, money to travel so that you don't go broke. It's not like military people are getting rich being in the military. They don't have extra money. But he's like, I don't like abortion, so therefore it's shut down. There's reporting that Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, actually went in and confronted him himself. Even that didn't move him. What is happening?
It's radical, it's reckless, it's ridiculous, but it's also coordinated. And you and I have talked a bit about this in the past, Joy. This is not accidental. This is a strategy. I've called it the American insurgency. This is a group of people that want to obstruct, dismantle, overthrow our government, and they're trying to do it in different ways. And Tommy Tuberville has become the leader of this radical group in the Senate that wants to blow up everything. They're kind of like political suicide bombers. They want to go in and achieve their ideological agenda at the expense of anything to include our military. It's the same guy who supported white nationalism in the military. And now he and 10 others blocked C.Q. Brown, who's an overwhelmingly qualified American hero for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I've called him Senator Redneck. I think that's what Tuberville is. He embodies this backward ideology, and he has friends. And 10 of his friends were the only 11 U.S. senators who voted against C.Q. Brown last night. And it's like a laundry list of the most radical and ridiculous members of the Senate. They're calling themselves out. So I give Schumer credit for finally pushing a vote. I think Warren's right. She's finally throwing punches. That's what's been long overdue. And independents like me have been sitting there saying, somebody just stop this madness. And I think they need to go further. Call for Tuberville to resign. Get him out of the Senate. Stop him from endangering our national security and helping our enemies, because it is bigger than just politics. It's about our national security. And now it's also about international stability. It's also about Ukraine. So it's much bigger than just Tuberville, and it's increasingly dangerous and damaging.
Yeah, I mean, the House side, they're also refusing to fund Ukraine. They want to stop that, too. But I just stay with you for just a minute, Paul, because there is a certain contempt for the military who they claim to support that is at the root of it. And that does come from Trump. I want to read this stunning piece of this Atlantic profile of General Mark Milley, who I think has been really heroic and being very blunt about talking about issues I think that are really, really important. And this is it. At a welcome ceremony at Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall across the Potomac River from the Capitol, Milley gained an early and disturbing insight into Trump's attitude towards soldiers. Milley had chosen a severely wounded Army captain, Luis Avila, to sing God Bless America. Avila, who had completed 5 combat tours, had lost a leg in an IED attack in Afghanistan and had suffered 2 heart attacks, 2 strokes, and brain damage as a result of his injuries. To Milley and to 4-star generals across the Army, Avila and his wife, Claudia, represented the heroism, sacrifice, and dignity of wounded soldiers. It had rained that day, and the ground was soft. At one point, Avila's wheelchair threatened to topple over. After Avila's performance, Trump walked over to congratulate him, but then said to Milley, within earshot of several witnesses, "Why do you bring people like that here? No one wants to see that, the wounded. Never let Avila appear in public again," Trump told Milley, who, by the way, Milley is going to have him sing at his retirement party. That kind of disgusting attitude toward a wounded veteran, that's Trump. Is that what's infected the party?
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, it's a culture of contempt. It's a culture that he has encouraged. It's a culture that he has seeded all across this country. And it is a movement of people who have contempt for all things honorable and with integrity. And most ridiculously, they've made a consistent focal point our national security and our military. I mean, this is no longer the party of John McCain and Colin Powell and people like that. They would be flabbergasted if they saw where the Republican Party has come now, where not just Trump, but Tuberville and Ron DeSantis and everyone else has made their #1 attack talking point the military. So I think it's also a contrast in where America is right now. You've got like disgusting people with no honor, no integrity, and you've got these really honorable people that are defending democracy and holding the line. And that's Milley and C.Q. Brown and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. And it's gut check time for America. You've got to look at this contrast, and I applaud them for stepping forward. I wish they could speak out more. But in the meantime, we've got to continue to try to elevate those voices when they do start to leak out and hold the line and fight someone like Tuberville, who's endangering our national security. He's doing the work of Putin and our enemies for them.
George, I mean, that story about Donald Trump, he and Mark Milley are sort of polar opposites on the human spectrum in so many ways. I mean, Milley, was very apologetic after walking almost to that disgusting display outside the White House when Trump wanted to hold a Bible upside down, et cetera, and, admitted it was wrong and has tried to defend the country. What do you make of Donald Trump's attitude in that anecdote there versus Mark Milley?
Well, I mean, they're complete opposites, complete moral opposites. You have one man who is patriotic, who is selfless, who wants to do the right by the country, and you have another person who does not care about the country, does not care about its people, and only cares about himself. I mean, if Donald Trump were to give a speech to explain what he thinks the country should be doing and what we should be doing for the country, it would be ask not what you can do for the country. Ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you and the country can do for me. It's all about him. And that's, he is, I said this earlier on Twitter, I mean, there's no good way to say it. He is scum. And frankly, when I say that, I'm insulting scum.